Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Emotional and psychological abuse can happen in any type of relationship and can have a devastating impact on its victims. Joining us now with what signs to look for, we welcome back trauma-informed coach and best-selling author of Return to You, Shannon Kaiser. Thanks for being here.
I am so happy to be back.
Shannon, I called you Sharon.
It happens a lot.
It's really hot. We keep talking about how hot it is. We're losing our marbles a little bit.
It's all good.
This is a great topic because a lot of people are only beginning to discover and understand what emotional abuse even looks like.
You know, and that's exactly it. It's like physical abuse, and there's a lot of other abuse where you can see, and emotional abuse, it's so silent sometimes, and it's insidious. It happens kind of subtly, and that's why a lot of times even other people who may even know the abuser and they don't see it, but the person it's happening to, it really gets into the psychology. There's been recent studies, even one that was just done in March, that talks about emotional abuse and how it's like psychologically how it really affects people, and how it really changes the psychology and the brain structure because it makes people feel like they're worthless. It actually changes how they see the world, and it's just as damaging as other abuse. So I'm glad we're talking about it today.
Yeah, you carry it forward and it can affect the rest of your life. So let's talk about some warning signs to look for, things like invalidating.
Invalidation is so interesting because, you know, you could have that friend who ignores you or interrupts or constantly kind of like, oh, that's not important, and they bring the conversation back to them, and it's kind of like on a spectrum. But what we're talking about is like emotional abuse, and there are people who are master manipulators who use this as a control tactic, and I think that's really what we want to kind of look at. Is invalidation is where they deny your feelings, or they deny you even exist, or it kind of goes into the range of a kind of pushing aside your opinion, your right to even be in the same space sometimes, and it leads into different manipulation tactics such as even silent treatment, blaming you, and it kind of is this, again, very insidious, and it's very controlling.
Yeah, and gaslighting too. I mean, that's something we're learning more about, and it's kind of scary how much it can affect your own brain, and you start to believe the other person.
That's exactly true. And you know, gaslighting is another term that I think a lot of people are starting to hear more of now too. Gaslighting is this kind of denial of reality. Oh, I didn't say that. Or, oh, you know, you maybe bring something to the attention of someone that kind of hurt my feelings when you said that the other day, and they completely deny it, or they blame shift and they turn it back on you. And this can really, again, if somebody's coming to you and bringing something that's important to, you know, we have empathy, we have a heart, we're trying to build a strong connection with someone. We're coming to it from a healthy position, and someone completely denies that. We start to question ourselves. A healthy person is going to be like, well, maybe it was me. And that's actually what an abuser tries to do. They want to bring the control back to them. They want to kind of blame shift. And that's what we want to look at. And I think that's important too, is to start to look at your relationship. If somebody is trying to control versus connect, then that's actually an abusive behavior.
Okay, that all comes down to, it's as simple as that. You just have to be able to recognize it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you kind of mentioned that cold shoulder, silent treatment, but that withholding behavior can be really painful.
It's so painful, especially when you want to make things better, or you're trying to understand. You start to get in your head, and the abuser often knows this. They will go into a kind of silent treatment on purpose. They disappear for hours or days at a time even. And this is an abusive tactic. They do this to kind of play with that dynamic of staying in control, and you will ruminate, right? And you're thinking, what did I do? And often they will use this as a tactic to come, you know, you come crawling back and all is forgiven. But what we want to look at is anytime someone's withholding information, not calling you back on purpose to try to keep the upper hand, or just completely denying that you exist, or you can't have a healthy relationship with someone who's not communicating with you, just point blank. You can't be in a relationship with anyone, and we're not just talking like romantic relationships. This is friendships, this is a boss, this is coworkers, this is all dynamics. All relationships require reciprocity. They require you know, when we say we want to be in a healthy relationship, when you say I want to be your friend or your romantic partner, you're agreeing to kind of come together and say, I'm looking forward to connecting with you, not controlling. But if somebody's controlling, that's abusive.
And even the overprotection when people are isolated by, I think, particularly a romantic partner, that can be kind of scary from the outside looking in too.
You know, this is very tricky too, because we see, this one's one of those, overprotection can kind of be like, oh, they care about them. How nice is that? You know, sometimes helicopter parents even, it's lovely because it looks like they care, but what this could go into is maybe infringing on boundaries, like reading the diary or getting into the passwords or making sure that they follow on the phone. It's really overprotective in the sense of I don't trust you and I'm going to follow your every move, but I care about you. And so it's under the guise, this is actually very abusive behavior. And so what this really comes back down to is looking for these signs. You know, I had several years where I was involved with romantic partners that were very abusive and I didn't even know. I didn't even know. I thought this was just how people related to each other. And so some of these signs, it's important to recognize this is mistreatment and it's disrespect. And if we're relating to other people in this way, or we're allowing this, it really comes back to what are we tolerating? And no matter what, this is not how humans should be treating each other. And we really want to start to look at what are we allowing, but also it's taught behavior. Sometimes in the families we grow up, we sacrifice ourselves to make everyone else happy. And so it comes back down to self-love and learning to love yourself and respecting yourself. And when you do that, you start to hold other people accountable and put up boundaries. And when you do that, you start to have healthier relationships.
So many people can relate to you, not even realizing that something was wrong and just living through it and going, well, this is normal. But we're going to do better.
We will do better, and it's conversations like this, and it's also having community and talking to other people who have gone through it is really important.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Yeah, it's been great to be here again.
Thanks. You. Of course. Shannon's book, again, is Return to You. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.